Hey everybody, welcome to Life Inside Hell. I'm Brother Wild Bill coming to you from inside the most dangerous prison in the Western Hemisphere, where I'm the prison's chaplain, but I'm also an inmate. I'm serving a 46-year sentence, and I'm 13 years into that sentence, and I'm here to talk to you today. I'm excited about the new format that we're giving out here on Life Inside Hell. So, why am I so unhappy? That's a question that lots of us have asked, including me myself, have asked myself before in the past. And the answer to that question is a twofold thing. There's only really two reasons why you can be unhappy. If you adjust your life with these two reasons, now this is me, I'm coming to you from inside prison, and I'm happy. So how in the hell is that possible? I'm serving a 46-year sentence inside the worst and most dangerous prison in Central America, and the question is, how can a man like that be happy? And I am happy. And you, on the outside, have access to everything. Maybe you're unhappy. It doesn't seem reasonable or fair. So there's two things I want to talk about today. One reason that you may be unhappy is that you do a complete and total lack of auto-analysis about your feelings and your actions, especially your actions. You know, one thing that's really difficult for all of us to do, and me too, I do it too. It's difficult because we all are touched. We've been touched with the brush of narcissism, every single one of us. And if you don't know what narcissism is, it's an unhealthy self-love, When we are fooled into thinking that we're separate, that we're different than everybody else, and that we're not part of the herd, so to speak, instead of thinking about being a part of the whole, thinking about being something separate, that's narcissism. Because in reality, we are all part of the universe, part of everything, you know. And so when we're not honest with ourselves in auto-analysis in our actions, a lot of times, like this happened to me yesterday. I had a disagreement with somebody that's important to me, a very, you know, a pretty sizable disagreement. And I hung up the phone and went and sulked for 2 hours and told myself how right I was. And then I thought about it, and I listened again to the messages, and I thought, well, this person probably is really actually telling the truth and didn't say anything bad at all. And I'm taking it wrong and taking it out of context. And I went back and I apologized to that person. And I did that auto-analysis, that honest auto-analysis. And it was fine. Everything was okay. And so we oftentimes don't do an honest auto-analysis, do we? I mean, like, are we really honest with ourselves about the situation? Sometimes our ego gets in the way, and we think that our shit don't stink, and we fart roses, and so then we ask everybody else to act in a way that we don't act ourselves, and that's when we can do an auto-analysis of our actions and emotions and find out, am I really being fair? And so maybe being unfair and hugging that brush of narcissism is making you unhappy. Maybe you should be more honest with yourself and stop blaming other people for your actions and your feelings, and start taking control of your feelings and your actions. How do you take control of your feelings and actions? Well, in the reality, you have the ability to feel however you want to feel. You are in control of your emotions. You may not exercise control over your emotions, but you are in control. When you're angry, you don't have to scream. It's funny, like, I hear a lot of people say, he made me angry, and I screamed at him. Well, nobody can make you angry if you're not in agreement. I mean, even someone who's trying to offend you can't offend you if you disagree. I'm not going to be offended. I have this mantra, and this is going to be a thing I say over and over again. I have this mantra that I say to myself. I read it in a book. It wasn't mine. It was Dr. Wayne Dyer's. And he says to himself, or he's passed on now, but he said to himself all the time, I want to feel good. And I modified that just a little bit. I say it 65 times a day. I want to feel good, and I want to make others feel good. That's what I say. I don't say it 65 times a day, but at least 20 times a day. At least once an hour, I say it to myself. And I say it when those negative emotions jump up, and I start to feel bad, I start to feel angry, start to feel afraid, I say to myself in an out loud voice, I want to feel good, and I want to make others feel good. And it's like I just gained mastery over those feelings, and so my actions are not dictated by my emotions. You don't have the right. You certainly have the right to feel anger. You certainly have the right to feel fear. You certainly have the right to feel sadness. You don't have the right to abuse others when you feel those things. You can't justify, well, I was angry. Well, dipshit, you're not allowed to express terrible things when you're angry. All of us are angry. Everybody, and I got news for you. You don't feel anger any more than anybody else. That's a bunch of bullshit. You hear me? You say, I'm not like other people. I feel anger more. No, you don't. That's a lie. You're just not controlling yourself. All of us feel anger exactly the same. And so some people understand how to control it, and other people don't understand how to control it. If you're a person who doesn't understand how to control anger, I invite you to try my mantra. I want to feel good, and I want others to feel good. Be surprised how it works. Now, that's one. The lack of honest auto-analysis is one reason why you might not be happy. Second reason, I can assure you 100% this is why you're not happy. You're not being love. If you're being love, it's impossible not to be happy. Don't get me wrong. If your father dies, or if your wife gets cancer, I mean, you're going to feel sad. You're not going to be like, hey, hip, yip, yip, yippee, hooray. That's bullshit. You're not going to feel that way. But if you're being love in just about any situation, you can find happiness in it. It's okay to grieve when something bad happens. It's okay to feel angry as well. I mean, I feel angry all the time. I live in here with the craziest bunch of monkeys you couldn't even imagine, so I feel angry all the time. But I try to concentrate on being love. I want to feel good, and I want to make others feel good. That's love, man. There's sides of love too. You hear everybody say, "Well, I love everybody." That's really hard. And if you say that you love everybody, that's because you don't love nobody. And I want to explain that. It's important for us to talk about what love is. Love, if I love my children, then unfortunately I am required to detest and hate the people who would want to molest and sexually molest my children. If I love my kids, the person who wants to kill my child is somebody I hate and need to protect them from that. So love is an important thing to think about. If I love my country, for instance, then a lot of people are really patriotic. I'm not one of those, by the way, but a lot of people are really patriotic. Then you're required to hate an enemy that would want to invade. Required. If you love your family, you're required to hate those who would like to destroy your family. I'm sorry, but that's true. Because you can't just life is yin and yang. Life isn't just all happy-go-lucky. You can't live that way. Like I read about the Dalai Lama, who is somebody that I really respect, although he's come under fire recently for being like a pervert or something. But I read a book called The Art of Happiness. It was really good. I recommend it very much. Actually, it wasn't written by the Dalai Lama. It was written about the Dalai Lama, about a conversation a man had with the Dalai Lama over a period of years, like a single conversation that he had, a running dialogue over years. But the Dalai Lama says we should be compassion. Compassion is yes. We can be compassion and still hate the enemy. You can be compassionate and still hate the enemy. You can. But you can't just be love. You can't. In order to be love, that means you have to protect those things against those things. So you can be love. I love everybody. But here comes a guy with a chopping axe coming to hack up my wife, and I'm watching. I love him, though. I love him. Hell, I'm going to take that axe away from him and cut his head off with it. What the hell? You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's not. If I love my wife, I got to take care of her. So love is an important thing, but love has another side to it as well. It's important to understand that you can't have love without the protective hatred that comes with love. I mean, that's just reality. Anyway, so I read this. The Dalai Lama is a great guy, and I read his book and everything. But if you look at the Chinese invaded Tibet, I think it was in the late 80s, early 90s, and took Tibet away from Nepal away. I think, yeah, the Dalai Lama's homeland was taken away from him, and he talks about how much he loved and was just he was a pacifist. Well, I don't find much merit in that kind of love, if you want the truth. The good kind of love would have been to start a guerrilla war and fight the damn Chinese, I think. Because it's our country, we love our country, we don't want to give it over to the Chinese. So I think that love, true love, comes with a responsibility to hate what would destroy what you love. I think it comes with a responsibility, and I think that's maybe a strange thing for a pastor to say, but it's a true thing at the same time. You can love your enemies. You can have compassion for them. Jesus Christ said we should love our enemies, and I think that that's true. We should have compassion for them, but I think that we should take the fight to the enemy 100%. Jesus Christ also said, "Sell your tunic and buy a sword." So, if I love my family, I'm going to protect them against child molesters. If I love my family, I'm going to protect them against a man that wants to rape my wife. If I love my country, then I should be willing to do something to protect my country against foreign invasion. Love is an important thing. It's an important thing to master. So if you're not happy, maybe you're not being loved. When somebody says, "I love everybody," that's a bunch of bullshit. You can't be happy that way. Nobody can be happy that way, because when you say "I love everybody," it means you love nothing. It's just making love nothing. It's making love nothing. Because if you love somebody, you want to protect them. If you've enjoyed this message, boys and girls, please like and subscribe to the channel. Now, check it out. If you pull the description box down, you want to know more about me. My life's been a crazy roller coaster of, death and destruction. And so if you want to know more about me, I'm here. Look, boys and girls, I'm here. Boys and girls, I'm here to show you that anybody can change. I was a hitman in the street. I'm going to talk about that in the next episode. And I'm here to show you that anybody who wants to change can change. If Wild Bill can become Brother Wild Bill, chaplain of the church in hell, then you ain't got no excuse on the outside. Get your finger out of your ass and let's get to work, So pull the description box down. There's a Wikipedia link if you want to read more about my crazy life. If you really want to know more about my crazy life, there's a prison memoir, and I wrote it called "Long Live the King Wild Bill." It's available on Amazon. Pick that up. It costs you $12. It's a good read. Everybody likes it. Also, there are 2 social media links in the description box where you can get a hold of me. Love you guys. Thank you guys for listening. Please like and subscribe. And if these messages are helpful to you, I don't want you to go on Facebook and share it on Facebook. I don't. But if these messages are helpful to you, and say, "Hey, Johnny, hey, Janie," somebody that that might need a little motivation, a little, emotional help, help of any kind, say, "Hey, Johnny, Janie, this crazy bastard who's in prison is really pretty slick. So check him out and listen to his stuff, and maybe you'll feel better." Jesus Christ loves you. I love you too. I'm Wild Bill, Brother Wild Bill, chaplain of the church in hell.